our white chocolate, as I thought it was like almost done, ended up seizing up. Alright, now we got our chocolate in the bowl, and we're just gonna let this melt, as it already starting to melt, which is wonderful. So we're just gonna take some of the cookie crumbs now and sprinkle it over the top of that. Welcome back, FBF family. Jessie here with another little quick video for you guys during this Wagz vs. Jessie challenge. We all know I'm the better cook, but today I'm not going to be really cooking something. It's going to be a no-bake Oreo ball. So all we need for this is cream cheese. We're using some Great Value Twisted Shouts, which are just like Oreos. You're just going to need some white chocolate and some semi-sweet chocolate to encase the balls in. So it's going to be like a cake ball with cookies. Should be very good. So if you have food processor, this would be a lot easier. But since we don't, we're just going to use a bag, a rolling pin, and just crush them like that. So this is about a 19-ounce package, so we only need about 3/4 of it. I'm just going to get some of the cookies into the bag. We're just going to crush them up. You also want to leave some of the crumbs behind to put on top as a nice little garnish. That's about 3/4 of it. Put those off to the side. I find the easiest way to do this without a food processor, just get a bag, a rolling pin, and smash them. Alright. Brush them up. Try to get them as fine as possible. You could do this in 2 parts in the bag. Sometimes I might make it easier, but just constantly moving the bag around helps a lot too. We almost have it fully smashed up. So after crushing it up, you just take most of it. You want to leave a tiny bit behind for a little garnish. Leave that behind for the garnish. And then we're just going to mix it with cream cheese until it all gets combined. So until all of it's combined, just mix it with the cream cheese. As long as your cream cheese is nice and soft, this shouldn't be too bad. Oh. I don't know. So in theory, they should taste like a cheesecake Oreo ball. Or like a no-bake cheesecake, which is very delightful. So I'm just gonna get this all mixed in. Alright, so we're just getting this all mixed in. I switched to a spatula. Hopefully it'll help a little bit. If you have a food processor or a hand mixer, this would be a lot easier. But you work with what you got.
We do have a hand mixer.
Too late now. Do it the hard way. A lot of upper body strength. You can also just get your hands in there and do it. Work too. Excuse me. We almost have this fully mixed. At this point, I'm probably just going to get my hands in here and get my hands a little dirty. And just make sure it's a nice, consistent mixture. Oh, this makes it so much easier. Alright, now that it's like an even, consistent dough, we're just going to start forming them after I wash my hand. Really? Alright, so I grabbed my little handy dandy ice cream scoop to form them so I get even balls, and then I'm just putting them in a parchment lined little reusable tray, and then we're going to pop them in the freezer to harden them while we melt some chocolate to coat them in. Depending on how big you make your balls, will depend on how many you get, how much you fill the scoop also. And you can either go in with your hands and just make them into nice round balls, which I probably will end up doing. But to get this all measured out first, I'm just gonna do this. Make it nice and easy. Alright. So we almost have almost all the mix done. And you can also use a sheet tray with parchment on it to do this. But I didn't want something so big, so I just grabbed this. And works just as well. And then we got the space. But I am almost done with the mix, so I'm just gonna do this. Get them all in there, form it into little balls. Probably grab another tray. Make my life a little easier.
Time out, guys. Hold up. 1 second. Just a brief moment of your time. Wagz here, and I gotta say, I need you to hit that subscribe button and make sure you leave it a like, and make sure you hit that bell notification so it alerts you every time I upload. All right, guys? Now back to the video.
All right, so we almost have all of our little cake balls finished. Then we're just gonna pop them in the freezer for like 5-10 minutes while we melt some chocolate. I'm gonna melt some chocolate over a double boiler. But you can also do it in the microwave. Just have to be careful and do it in small increments so it doesn't burn. And that one little magical one. You don't want them too close together because then they will freeze together and you'll have one giant ball. Or one weird shaped one. So, now that they're all in here, I'm going to fold this over a little bit. Alright, so leave it as is. Take it, cover it, just so I can stack two of them on top of each other. And then into the freezer they go. So, melting chocolate over boiling water, you just want enough water to bring it up to almost the bottom, but you don't want the water to touch the bottom of the bowl. And just wait until it melts. When it's boiling, it'll melt quicker. But you don't want it to rapid boil so much that it hits the bottom of the pan. So we're just going to let it boil for a minute and let it melt. Alright guys, we have it almost fully melted now. We're just going to wait till it's a little more consistent that we can dip our cake balls into it. So I'm starting with the white chocolate because then I can just clean out this bowl a little bit, reuse it for the chocolate, and it won't affect it really. Alright guys, so our white chocolate, as I thought it was like almost done, ended up seizing up and turning to one giant clump. No water got into it, so I don't know why it did this. The pan could have not been hot enough and it just did this, so we're just going to scrap this and do everything in in the semi-sweet chocolate. Alright, now we got our chocolate in the bowl and we're just gonna let this melt as it already starting to melt, which is wonderful. Hopefully this will work better and won't give me an issue, but who knows. That's why sometimes using chocolate chips is a little finicky. You're better off using baker's chocolate and just chopping it up into pieces. It'll melt better. You won't have this issue. Because with chocolate chips, they add stuff to it to keep the shape when they pipe them out onto trays. Alright, so now we got our little cake balls out. They're a little hard. And our chocolate is all nice and melted. And we're just going to take them. And dump them in the chocolate. You can either use 2 forks to get it out. And let some of this chocolate drip off. Or if you wanted to stick a cake pop in them. Or a toothpick and just dip them in them, that would work too. So I'm just going to knock off some of this chocolate. And get it on the tray. You don't want to do too many at a time because you don't want them to get too warm. Alright, we're just going to go through them. Try to knock off as much of chocolate as possible. You don't want them overly coated, but you want them nicely coated. You just want a nice little crunch to the outside of it. And just be careful. This pan is hot. The chocolate is hot. And you can get seriously burned and seriously hurt. Alright, now that we're almost done with them, we're just going to put a little... Oh, this one won't stay together. We're just going to put a little cookie crumbs on top of them, because why not? I saved some, so I can do it. So why not do it? And then we'll get to let them harden for a couple of seconds, and then we'll get to try them. And the reason why you wanted enough space in your pan, because you didn't want them to stick together, but oh well, it happens. Alright, so we're just going to take some of the cookie crumbs now, and sprinkle it over the top of them. Makes it look pretty, add some more chocolatiness to it. And so you know what's inside of it. Alright. And we're just going to get these in the freezer to harden. And we'll be back in a couple of seconds. With the power of movie magic, we have our stretch tray already ready. You can see how nicely coated they are, how wonderful they look. I'm putting them in on a little piece of parchment. Makes it so much easier to pull them off and put them in. Another thing, oh, that one's not done yet, but oh well. Ooh. You just put them on this. These are great for any type of party, any get together. You need something quick, easy, done to go to. Any little gathering you have. Super simple, super quick, super easy. Doesn't take much. Alright, those are a little wet still. Alright, why don't we give it a little try? Very rich. Too much chocolate. But they're very good. So as I said, something quick, something simple, something easy. Take to any party with you. Anybody can do it. Even Wagz can do it. If he wanted to give his go at it. You can use any cookie, any cake. Do it the same way with cream cheese or with frosting. I would just say be careful on the amount of chocolate that's on them. They become very rich and very fudgy, which isn't a bad thing. But they are very delightful. Alright guys, so this will wrap it up for this video. Anything else you want me to cook or bake, just put it in the comments. Leave a like if you like this video. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.